Okay, so one side of you wants to be regarded as a decent human being, so you keep your comments to yourself or reserve judgment. Because we've been taught to live and let live. You know, create the idea of a balance. But then that balance turns into encroachment on your beliefs. Then a punishment for having your beliefs. Then an attempt to eradicate your beliefs altogether. This is why so many people are afraid of speaking their minds out of fear of being canceled or shadow banned. Because there's a group of overlords that determine what is good and what is bad for the consuming public. This censorship has a tendency of creating the perception of a vocal majority. See, when in reality, the majority simply chooses to be silent. But when the majority chooses to be silent, decision makers misjudge the public sentiment and make disastrous marketing decisions such as the one that we will be observing here. So, for some odd reason, there's a woman that thought that it would be a great idea to wreck the Bud Light brand by going completely so-called woke with it. Now let's go ahead on and let's take a look at the New York Post, shall we? This guy named Dylan Mulvaney, who's undergone certain altering procedures so that he can appear as though he is a woman, has a large TikTok following. And somehow, this particular lady right here, she thought that Dylan's following would translate into a successful rebranding of Bud Light. But I don't have to remind the people of the Peter Principle, do I? I mean, for those who are unfamiliar with the Peter Principle, be sure to check out the video where we addressed it. Well, this was the perfect example of the Peter Principle. So let's take a look at what the New York Post had to say. I mean, so right here it says, this lady, Alyssa Heinerscheid, the vice president of marketing, told the Make Yourself at Home podcast last week that she wanted to transform Bud Light's brand. Well, she transed it all right. Gracious, I don't think, when she decided to trans the brand. So right here, what did it say right here? No one at senior level of Bud Light knew of Dylan Mulvaney's ad campaign. Interesting. Let's read it. No one at senior level was aware this was happening. An unnamed source told the Daily Wire, a conservative-leaning news site. Marketing executives at Bud's parent Anheuser-Busch in Bell have allegedly paused additional campaigns so they can implement a more robust vetting process for future projects, according to the report. Now, isn't that something? Now, I've studied a little bit of brand management once upon a time, and so I decided to do a little bit of research to determine the history of the Bud Light brand and whether there was any congruity to this woke decision. I could find none. But let's just take a look at what I did see in my research of their brand and how they advertised it. Here's one, we'll go as far back as possible. These are some of the old ones. Here's one. Interesting. I don't see, what I'm seeing is a theme here. Oh, interesting. 1962, 2019. Interesting. Keep going. Interesting. You see any congruity in this idea? Here we go. Nice, beautiful lady. This would probably be the only questionable one. He'd be like, hey, what are you doing down there, lady?
Oh, yeah.
But I don't see anything that would say Dylan Mulvaney would be congruity to this company. All right? Now, some people might not really understand the gravity of this horrible decision, especially if they aren't consumers of Bud Light. So what I've done is compiled a few examples with certain brands in order to really drive the point home. Now, here's one. This is Billy D. Williams, Colt 45. He's so cool and the ladies love him. So one day you see this, and the next day you see this. Can you understand the gravity? Huh? You see, this is the results of not just the censoring of one side of the aisle, but also what happens when agenda and power collide. I mean, think about it. If you're a woman and you use a certain maxi pad or whatever you call those things, and suddenly Quentin Tarantino decides that he wants to rebrand the product, what would you do if you woke up to this commercial?
The thin maxi. I love thin with wings. I love wings. It protects better than any other thin.
We love this maxi.
Always plus thins. Better protection than whatever thin you're using now.
See what we've done for you.
So yeah, as I heard it eloquently put once upon a time, go woke. There's a great chance you go broke. Support the channel by hitting the like button, commenting, and subscribing for more content.